Last time we spoke, General, I talked to you about my own fears, though, that the Ukrainian counteroffensive was going too slowly. Since then, its army has punched through the first heavily fortified lines of Russian defences at a town called Robotyne and has liberated the townspeople there. It is still a small advance, but how significant is it?
It is very significant tactically. This is the first time that they've been able to break through the Russia's main defensive line. There's a second echelon defense behind that, but we don't think it is as well placed with minefields and obstacles as the first line of defense. This took considerable amount of work to do this. There is another axis north of there where they're also attacking, as we speak. So yes, this is a breakthrough. It is significant. Whether they can exploit the penetration and achieve some depth in the Russian rear and force the collapse of Russia's defense in depth remains to be seen. But listen, they are up against something that the United States military hasn't faced since World War II. We were never up against a defense in depth in Iraqi freedom and the invasion in 2003. We were never up against prepared defenses of any consequence in Desert Storm, and we were fighting an inferior enemy in the Iraqi military. So that we have people in the United States actually criticizing from the Pentagon, of all places, how Ukraine is conducting this operation. And I'll flat tell you, the Ukrainians have more conventional combined arms experience in these last 18 months than the leaders in the Pentagon who are criticizing them. And that's just the facts of it. And these are citizen soldiers, much like our citizen soldiers who fought in World War II, from Australia, from the United States, from Europe. And what they're achieving is nothing short of commendable. And on top of that, Andrew, we, the United States and our coalition partners, gave them 60 Leopard tanks versus 250, giving them 31 M1 tanks, and they haven't arrived and will arrive in a month or two. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of tanks in storage in Germany and much-needed engineered breaching equipment in storage in Germany. Why is it in storage? So our troops can fall in on it if we ever have to fight a war against Russia. Think of the irony of that. That is all in storage. The war in Russia is here, and we got our equipment in storage.
General Keane, part of that answer sounded a bit like a chapter of Catch-22, modern version, about America not releasing those tanks. General Keane, I've run out of time, but I want to ask you one more thing. Our government, meanwhile, is trying to prepare for a war with China. It said it's going to buy $1.7 billion of advanced missiles, mainly from the US, mainly Tomahawk missiles, although we still have only 3 ships that can carry them. How good are these Tomahawks? Because I was talking to a veteran who was General Schwarzkopf's chief targets officer during the first Gulf War. He said, look, they're great for carrying nuclear weapons, which Australia doesn't have. Otherwise, they're really just best with soft targets and now can be shot down too easily by an advanced military like China has. Your view?
The only missile that we know that's in existence today as an offensive missile is a hypersonic glide missile that can avoid being tracked, and given the speed it is moving at when it's coming to its target, it's very difficult to defeat it. Other than that, anything else flying out there can be defeated. But it's also, when are you shooting the missile? How many missiles are you shooting? What other things are going on collaterally around that? Can we defeat the air defense batteries, is which the United States attempts to do almost initially in any conflict we do, to render them as much ineffective as possible. So yes, all missiles are vulnerable, but we've had great success with Tomahawk missiles against hard targets.
General Keane, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Great talking to you, Andrew, as always, to you and your audience.